single time we get in that car, he's not gonna touch me. Or maybe you have teenagers and maybe you've been getting a letter like this recently. Dear mom and dad, I promise if you get me a cell phone, I will not get any app you don't want to get. I will call you every single day. This could actually be great for our relationship, really. But empty promises, right? Empty promises. Or maybe you're like me and you do not have the gift of cooking in the kitchen, but you know how to call Johnny's Pizza. And you've been calling Johnny's a little bit too much lately, 3 times a week. And you say, y'all, I promise we are not gonna eat Johnny's for the next month. Now that is an empty promise. And in 2 days, I'll be calling 318-396-5120. Okay, yes. I know it by heart, y'all. I know it by heart. I provide for my family. But y'all, we have made some empty promises, but maybe it's bigger than that, Maybe it's promises to God. God, if you do this for me, God, I promise I'll start going to church again. God, I promise I'll read my Bible. I promise I'll pray. Or maybe it's bigger than that. Maybe it's, God, I would never take another sip of alcohol. But we get right back into it. God, I'm done with drugs. I'll never get back on that. But then we get right back into it. I'm done with that relationship. I'm definitely not going back to that relationship. I'm done with that friend group. Not gonna do that anymore on the weekends. I'm done looking at that app, but then we re-download it. It's just, we don't mean to make empty promises, but sometimes because we're hurt people, because people hurt us, because we're insecure, because we are weak, because people change, and because we change, promises seem to get broken. And I think because we have a hard time keeping promises and other people have a hard time keeping their promises, it's so hard to believe that God is really keeping his. And when you look at him and you look at the world and you're kind of measuring it up, you're like, I just don't know God. So we're gonna read in Matthew chapter 4, 1 through 11. And then I'm gonna pull out 3 reasons as to maybe why we are doubting the promises of God. But then we're gonna look at 3 reasons why we don't have to. So Matthew 4, 1 through 11 says this. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. And the tempter came and he said to him, if you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. But he answered, it is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Then the devil took him to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you. And on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. And Jesus said to him, again, it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test. Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world and all their glory. And he said to him, all of this I will give to you if you will fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said to him, be gone from me, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Then the devil left him, and behold, the angels came and were ministering to him. That's a powerful text. And we're gonna draw a lot out of that. But the first reason, not number one, but the first reason I believe we doubt the promise keeper, why we doubt God keeps his promises, is because we don't know the promises of God. When you think about it, you're sitting here and you're seeing all your promises are yes and amen, and you might have an idea of what the promises of God are, but there are hundreds of promises in the Bible.